Welcome back to Les Schwab Tire Center's Outdoor GPS, presented by Fisherman's Marine and Outdoor.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm reliving the old days of trying to do live reports from the river with my producer this morning, Joe, which, by the way, doing a fantastic job covering for Ryan. All right, let's go ahead and check back in with Mr. Bill Monroe Jr. of Bill Monroe Outdoors. And Bill, as you know, because you hear it all the time, I'm assuming, because I hear it all the time. Everybody loves hearing from you because we all want to know what's going on, and I'm not willing to dip my toes in there for a number of reasons. One, I like my job, and two, I don't like being wrong. So I like to rely on Bill. So Bill is involved in this.
Owen, I'll take the heat.
Yeah.
I will take the heat.
You work for yourself. You work for yourself. Nobody's going to mess with you, but I don't. Okay, so the big question is, Bill, and you know this, October 1 comes, retention of silvers reopens on the Columbia.
Yep.
They close down Chinook. Is there any window of opportunity to maybe be able to take a Chinook in October on the Columbia?
I'm going to go with, and only because the TAC meetings, they meet on Mondays, okay? And TAC has lowered the run overall every Monday now on a pretty consistent basis. I'm going to go with maybe. You might do a middle of October, maybe end of October. I don't know. But what, and I've had to explain this to a bunch of, fellow fishing guys even. The world of ESA and catch balances is one of the hardest things I've ever been witness of or be a part of when we're sitting in the advisory committee meetings or whatever it is. We're sitting in North the Falcon. I don't understand the anger, I guess, because this is the hardest job I've ever witnessed for these managers to get it right. And they don't get it right. They never get it right. It's never going to be perfect. But here's what happened this year. And then last year, you witnessed a hatchery only last year, right? You had a whole hatchery only fishery. And then it got back to, well, I guess we'll try some non-wild retention and hatchery only, and we'll try to do half and half. And then they split it up. It will do a block here and then hatchery only, and then a non-mark select and wild retention at the end of the fishery for buoy 10. And it worked. It worked so good that it's gone to about 101% of the overall expectation. And when it starts to work like that, we are getting ourselves back on track of getting a buoy 10 fishery like it used to be, which is a productive fishery. But in order to do that, you have to protect things like tules. We started with those because they're awful and nobody likes them. And that we caught a bunch of them. And now we're protecting herbs and Snake River wild fish. And that's why the run was downgraded and why it shut down on time. And then they found a little bit of extra wiggle room and reopened the whole river. And then it shut down again. And that's where we are now, because those fish need to be able to get up and meet escapement. And things like the Reach and the Clearwater and Snake River, they all have to get the fish. And that's pretty important, This is working. And it's working not just for, I guess, the tribes or Idaho, but it's working for commercial elements. The safe zones are better than they've ever been. It's working for recreational anglers. It may not be the best thing for everybody, and it's really hard. But we have had one of the best fisheries I've been a part of in a long time. This is top 5 for me this year. Top 5. It was that good.
Well, you kind of alluded to one of the biggest questions, Bill, and you know exactly what that is. They have allowed a lot of commercial opportunity in the main stem of the Columbia, which obviously had an impact on the numbers going over Bonneville. Now, they've also reportedly, I don't know for sure, but this is what we've been told, one of the best commercial seasons, if not the best commercial seasons, based on numbers that they actually report on the main stem Columbia. So there's a lot of frustration from the user group of the sport fishery. But what you're saying is that this is actually a positive thing, but you have to take the bad with the good?
With the good. Yeah, unfortunately, and that's part of the whole deal. We all have to come together to make this thing work. It has to work. And if we're going to have zone 4 or 5 have a main stem gillnet element, that's the hard part. What the good part is safe zone. They're working. They need to work. That's what they need to be doing. And that, for me, is, I love it. I don't care. I love it. And it keeps the main stem in the lower river protected. There is going to be there needs to be a commercial element on the Columbia. Now, should it be on the main stem? I don't know what to do about that yet. But it's working. We're seeing what we have here, Owen, is one of the best fisheries, fall fisheries yet, in my opinion. This is my opinion. Bonneville was kind of a tough fishery this year, but everything else from Buoy 10, Tongue Point, Cathlamet, to St. Helens, to Hood River, up river, it was pretty darn good, dude.
Yep, I understand. We all appreciate your take on that. So Bill's response, everyone, if you're just tuning in and missed that, is that maybe in October, there may be an opportunity to retain Chinook. It will stand.
Oh, hey, we got a fish on.
Hey! At the very least, it will be a silver fishery October 1 going through. Look at that, dude.
You got real.
Real! That's why I couldn't be a guide. I'd be yelling, what the heck? Keep reeling.
What the heck? I know. Like, real John, real Cropper. There you go, Cropper, come here.
Everyone, when it says live in the upper left-hand corner, that's because it is. And it's got to be a silver if he's netting it that fast.
It's definitely a Coho. Wow. Okay. Good stuff.
Very nice. Is it a keeper, Bill?
Oh, it's a beat. Well, this is Crawford. You got a nice Coho.
Nice. Look at that. Ooh, nice quality fish, too.
And that is actually like a nice 12-pound Coho.
Hey, Bill. Thank you very much for your insight and sharing your report, and also putting a fish on live television. That's what's called the wood shampoo, everyone. That's Bill Monroe Jr. Right. Or an old school Motion Marine solid piece of aluminum shampoo.
Yeah, Willie.
Oh, there you go, Willie.
That is the patented Willie stick.
Okay, very good.
Yeah.
That is Bill Monroe Jr., owner-operator, Bill Monroe Outdoors, all things knowing, and we appreciate everything, Bill. We really, really do, sir. Thanks for spending some time, but I got to cut away, everyone. We got to come back. We're going to have your Pike Minnow reward numbers for you. Hopefully you learned something there with Bill. His question, should it be in the main stem? But that's just my opinion. We'll be right back.